Hey everybody, what's going on? It's your girl Brandi.
It's your boy Russell IV.
And we are back with another episode of the What They Never Told Us podcast. Thank you for coming back.
Let's go. Big energy.
We did it, Joe. We are more than excited to be back today because we did something big yesterday.
Yes, we did. So, for those of you guys, this is episode number
three-ish.
I think I lost track. And it's sad we lost that track. It's so early in the season, but we've been of course, these episodes are pre-recorded. We've been filming and recording season 1, but none of our core following, as far as you guys know, this has been birthed out of a series of Facebook Lives that we did.
Right.
So we had a core group that followed us, but we've been keeping it a secret. Nobody knew we were officially launching a podcast. So yesterday, we dropped the cover art to the podcast.
Let the cat out the bag. Let everybody know what we've been working on.
Let it out the bag. And just the outpouring of love was just
amazing. So for all of you who are listening that joined the Facebook Live yesterday, we said thank you. But
thank you.
Here it is again. Thank you.
Y'all so dope.
It is really because of you that we are here. You guys planted the idea and we just took off and ran with this. So finally letting y'all in, because I'm telling you, it's been months and I've been like, we should just say something. Let me post a picture. Like I need them to know what's happening.
She's been itching to post these pictures since July. But we were excited about it. Yeah.
So we sat down, spent about an hour on live on Facebook, and just really kicked it with the people, got some feedback, and let them see our space. They got to check out our new digs. And, we really just chopped it up with them, kind of went old school. That's going to be old school now because we don't.
Live, yeah.
Live isn't our main vehicle to communicate, with people. So it felt good.
Man, it was just, I don't want to stay here too long, but just the amount of love.
Yeah.
Like it was shared outside of our circle.
Right.
Like
absolutely.
There's like a common range of interaction we get with people on our like shared posts, like when we go and do and film something.
People who know us in some
capacity, but like black business pages, like, hey, look at this dope couple started a podcast. People who we didn't even know before joining the live, engaging with us, talking to us. I'm like, you know them? No, I don't know them. Like, wow,
it was really dope.
It was really dope, and that was the goal. That was always the vision for this.
I think for me, it was confirmation.
Yeah.
When you take off with new ventures, at least for me, there's always like this level of uncertainty of, am I doing the right thing?
Yeah.
Like, I prayed about this. We pray before we start every podcast, and I don't know. It just felt like God was like, there you go. Approved. Move forward. Do what you're doing.
Yeah.
Some of the things that we say to each other, like we want it to be X, Y, and Z, was the feedback that we were getting.
For sure.
So, I needed that.
For sure. And then everywhere we went, somebody was mentioning, I don't know about you, but like, hey, Pac, I'm like, thanks, bro. Who are you? Like, people that we knew but didn't know, like, followed or maybe didn't pay attention, were just like, hey, look, I saw this, I saw that. So once again, just thank you guys.
Thank you.
For those of you guys who are coming from that core group. If you're here and you're not from that core group, we love y'all too. Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome to the tribe. Welcome to the family.
Get to know us and all of our crazy.
All that part. So we're excited. Today is dedicated to our tribe, our family that's been rocking with us.
Yes.
From that Facebook group, we've been getting
feedback, suggestions, topic suggestions,
all that stuff. So we're going to get that rocking. We're going to have a great time today. And I'm just really excited. How you feeling?
Let's do it. I'm ready.
How you feeling? You look relaxed. You've been off work this whole time.
Listen, went to the chiropractor. My little disc is loose. I'm ready to go. I ain't getting
don't say your discs are loose. I mean, I get it. I just don't like the
I'm sitting up in this chair. I don't have no back pain. I'm feeling real good.
I feel it. We're gonna have a good time. Let's go. I'm excited. Yeah. No, it's gonna be a good episode. We rocking with y'all. This is a song called "View from the Jazz. It is officially the What They Never Told Us theme song. Big noise.
I know you wanna lay down. Take your time. Time is right with you. I know you wanna stay now. Girl, let's ride. Come show
This hook is money though.
how you do. I want is you, baby. All I want is you, baby. More than I need what you want, girl, it's yours. Give me your feelings, I just can't ignore. All I want is you, baby.
Okay, we want to do weird stuff.
All right, yo. Then maybe we don't need to be playing it on the pod.
No,
Yo.
so tell them once again who is that song by and where they can find it.
That's homie Jazz. I hope I'm saying that right. I don't know if it's Jazz. I hope I'm saying it right.
The homie, but you don't know. Come on.
Artist from Detroit, really dope artist. And yeah, if you can, I'm gonna put a link down below in the description of the podcast so you guys can check that out when you get a chance. I'm also going to put the name of the artist and the song down below, so please look that up. You're going to hear that song a lot. It's going to be on every episode.
It's gonna be stuck in your head for sure because it's super catchy. It's super catchy. The first time I heard it, I'm like, yeah, what's that?
I was thinking about it already, and I think the first time I put it behind one of our videos.
You made
Can't
a
remember which
video
one.
for me. Like a
Yeah.
compilation, a greatest
compilation.
hits. Brandy's greatest hits.
Fellas, learn how to edit. That's a move right there. When we was getting to know each other, that was something I did a lot. Like I catch little moments and edit a video, send it to you. Like, look how dope this is.
Yeah.
What you roll your eyes for?
Trying to
What?
swoon me. You're trying to.
Ain't nobody trying. You got swooned.
You're trying to game me.
You got
You're
swooned
sitting there,
like a mug.
"Fellas, let me tell you what. Hey, I didn't know you was putting the moves on me. I thought you were just being sweet and sentimental. And look, you done revealed your
It's
whole
a
hand.
vibe. I'm saying. I'm giving them game. Look, make a lady feel special. You know what I mean? Learn how to piece a little video together.
Are you gonna hit him with the first?
Yeah, let's do that. So this is actually from one of our followers on TikTok. Reached out and sent this.
It's a little audio clip of just something that they thought would be an interesting topic. I got a sneak preview last night on live, so y'all get ready for me to fire off after y'all hear this.
In the next 3 years, polygamy will be the number one thing because of the simple fact we have tried a system that does not work for us at all. See, out of 10 couples, ask yourself how many of them is really happy out of 10. Out of 10, you may get 2 out of 10. So the other 8 are miserable. Why? Because it's not natural. When you rely on one woman to make you happy, you're going to drain her. When you rely on one woman to do anything, she's no longer going to be the girl you want because it's not possible. How can she cook, clean, be bad, make money, be a freak? And not one human being is not capable of doing all that. No, it's not. But if you get you a sister and somebody that can help you, you'll win. When do you see polygamy couples arguing? You kind of don't see that. When do you see anyone stressed? When you see people in a trio with one man and 2 women, look at their skin, look how they glow. They're not under pressure, they're working together. But see, most people think that's some nut freak bull type thing. It's not. It's about a business. Let's break it down. Let's say if you got 3 people and they all are bringing in $300 a day. Y'all making $900 a day. So let's just round that up. Let's say y'all making $1,000 a day. Y'all making $5,000 a day,
This is the
Monday through Friday for your homes. Okay? That's $20,000 a month. Y'all making $20,000 a month. Y'all can do anything y'all want to do every month. 20 times 12 is what? Do the math. It's about building. It's not about sex. Sex don't matter. No, it's about building and working together. Let's break this down. If I'm the man And I get up in the morning and I say, okay, cool.
I'm over it already.
Wives, what we doing today? Okay, cool. She got to go to the store. I give her the money. She goes to the store. She takes the food to the other wife. The other wife cooks and prepares the food. Everybody's day is cut into flips. All because all that pressure wasn't on you. Now, this is going to be offensive to a lot of girls. I'm sure it is. But what do y'all think? What do y'all think going to happen? We've been following the same thing all this time.
So first of all,
what's up?
He started off with the wrong premise. Polygamy is the new wave.
So the next 3
and the
years.
next thing I heard was,
Oh, you stop listening?
it's garbage. It's all garbage.
Well, tackle the point.
And his like I said, he started off with the wrong premise because he says that one woman can't do X, Y, and Z, but one man can. Help me understand that. So if you're going to give me a sister, I should be able to get a brother to help you out.
Maybe he's not against that.
He ain't say nothing about that. And this is my problem with this. First of all, these conversations usually start from a man. And then when you insert the point of, okay, it's cool to bring another girl in, but when I'm bringing another guy in, you know what you get? Where your crickets at? Hit your crickets.
Hit my crickets?
Because that's what you get. Yeah, y'all don't want to hear none of that. But when he talking, oh, he's spitting. So I'm going to start recruiting for a brother.
Well, let me say this. Number one, I don't subscribe to any of what he was talking about. So when I'm saying he's spitting, I mean that in jest and I'm playing. I don't want to offend anybody who is listening to this and subscribes to a polygamous lifestyle or a poly lifestyle. Just because that necessarily doesn't work for her, that doesn't work for me, doesn't mean it doesn't work. And for all you Christians who are listening, I'm open to conversation because half your Bible was written by dudes who had multiple wives. King David, who you read after you hear sermons about all the time, had multiple. Solomon, 800 of them things. He had a gang of wives. I'm not saying that is what we should be doing, but I don't want to make it seem like it is wrong or that I'm coming from a point of view that is saying that you're wrong. That's not my position.
It's not even about being wrong. Like I just said, the premise is off. If you want to do it, you do it because you want to do it. This
personal view of why he does it. I don't want you to think we're reacting to that lifestyle. We're reacting to this person's point of view.
If you want to do it, we are all grown people who have choices to make. You just go ahead and do it. But trying to justify it as in one person can't do this, and he very clearly said one woman can't blah blah blah. So he also should feel that one man can't blah, blah, blah. And then he said, you don't see arguing in polygamous lifestyles. Have you seen Sister Wives?
Yeah, but it's true. Like, you don't never see no polygamous couples. I don't see no polygamous couples.
That's all they did is argue. What are we talking about?
Now I'm going to play devil's advocate just for the sake of conversation. Okay. Number one, if he's got multiple wives, obviously there's some women that subscribe to this as well, okay? And if we take away his premise, right, we take away his stance about women in general, right, wouldn't you say that women wear a lot more hats than men do in a home?
No. I wouldn't say that. I think it depends on your household makeup. There are
society-wise, not necessarily like what you believe, but
no, that's what I'm saying. Like It depends on your household makeup. I've seen plenty of households where the father is the primary caretaker for the children and does the traditional things that maybe someone would see a wife do. My uncle raised his children and he was that person until he got divorced. And then when he got divorced, the kids stayed with him.
Is that the norm of what you see?
I mean, I don't know. I ain't all in people's business. I'm just telling you what I know.
I think the normal family structure that we see here in America is the man works. He supposedly brings home the bacon. This is a more
this feels like an antiquated.
Yeah, it's an old school mindset, but we're just talking about what is the quote unquote American family structure that society subscribes to normally. man works, man brings home money, and then traditionally, you back in the day, you had the stay-at-home mom who cooked, who cleaned, who did yada yada yada. Nowadays, you have a lot of men who still expect a woman to do that. I can't tell you how many men can she cook. Man, what does Cardi say? I don't cook, I don't clean. Let me tell you how I got this ring. But they still want a freak. They still want this, want that. So
you need a different woman for all of those functions?
No. Here's what I'm saying. You're jumping ahead. All I'm saying is that I think there's a lot more pressure on women to wear different hats in a relationship than there's for men. I feel like the standards that women have to reach in order to quote unquote please a man, even from other women. Like, I hear other women say, girl, you got to do this, you got to do that, you got to do this. Nobody did that. No one came to me and said, hey, man, you got to do this. If you the man of the house, you got to do this, they don't put that pressure on men.
I mean, just because you don't hear it doesn't mean that the same pressures don't exist. I do feel like women are definitely more vocal, but I think naturally, in most cases, obviously this is not an end all be all, but women are the better communicators. So we're telling each other like, hey, you gotta do this, and this, because men, y'all just don't talk about that stuff.
Women are the better communicators?
I do believe that. I think we're better at communicating to each other. If we're talking about groups of men talking to each other and groups of women talking to each other, women are having those types of conversations. Like, this is what it means to be a mom, to be a wife, to be y'all. You already said that, like, when you got married, nobody was telling you, like, trying to give you no advice. They were just like, are you sure? You ready? You want to do that?
I don't think that's because men don't communicate. I think that's because there is less expectation in these scenarios.
I mean, difference of opinion, but
give me the expectations that society puts on men in marriage. Society, not you. Society.
Obviously, I don't talk to everyone in society, but I think that even if you say a woman has to cook, clean, and take care of the children, like, it is still a man's job to take care of his wife, take care of his children, work, take care of his house.
You mean take care?
What, you want me to name out all the?
I mean, this is what I'm saying. Like, in society, they say a woman should. I'm not saying this is right, and I don't subscribe to this. I'm saying society puts pressure on women. You gotta cook, you gotta clean, girl. When you come home, don't be having no bonnet on. When you go to bed, don't always be in this. You gotta wear something sexy.
I don't think that is a societal standpoint, though, that you have to don't wear a bonnet and wear something sexy. Like, I think we're getting very granular in what happens in these situations, because if nobody told me that either. Nobody said I couldn't wear a bonnet and had to wear something sexy, and like,
not the specific. Okay, I feel like we're dancing around thing. I do believe that society puts a lot more pressure on women in marriages, in relationships, to be X, Y, and Z. And maybe that's not a view that you've gotten. I know I've heard it.
I definitely think that women are primed and primed to be wives. That is something different. I think that in our society, women are made to feel like being married, becoming a wife is like the pinnacle. Like, that's the thing that you want to achieve to. That's why little girls grow up and dream of their weddings and plan out that day, because from a young age, that is something that is implanted in us. I don't think, however, that is something that men talk to their sons about, or uncles talk to their nephews about. But however, for a woman, it is like your most prized possession is being like, or aspiration should be to be a wife. Now, when it comes to setting the expectations for what that means to be a wife, that is not something that's talked about, which is why, for me, I am sitting in this scenario and we have a podcast called What They Never Told Us, because nobody ever talked to me about that. Nobody ever said, like, look, the male ego is fragile, and as his wife, sometimes you're gonna have to, even when you don't feel like it. Like, yeah, we can talk about cooking and cleaning, but I think that the same responsibilities that a wife holds in a marriage, not the chores, not the job duties, but the same responsibilities, those lie in a man.
I'm not saying they don't. I'm saying what is conveyed and communicated. And maybe this context comes from my experience in growing up in the church. But in that sector of the world, oh, man. And I wish, if you've gotten this, right, if you grew up in the black church space, I'm curious to know what your experience was like growing up, about to enter into a marriage, and what was the feedback you got about being a wife from the OGs, the mothers of the church. And I think you see a little bit in this context now that you're active in your home church. As we're getting closer, has anyone given you feedback about, girl, you've never gotten that?
You mean now? Yeah, right, and now. I think that is a better frame to put that in. But when you say in American society, I
think you're marginalizing this based on what you've been exposed to. And I could be wrong, but I'm curious as what you guys think. If you're on YouTube,
you're not marginalizing it based on what you've been exposed to. We both do that. That's how we're giving our opinion.
Support that, but if you haven't been exposed to it, you just don't have. You're saying you don't hear that, right?
No. That's not what I said. It's not that I don't hear it, but what I'm disagreeing on is I don't believe that the whole argument or discussion was about whether or not it is more placed on women than it is on men. And yeah. I just don't think that the focus that women hear is not on the roles in the house. Now that I am in church, you asked me that. I do hear like you're going to have to, but it is all in reference to sexual favors. Like
that's one part. That's one part.
That is all that I really hear about. It's like, when you're married, he gonna want it and you're gonna have to. And I'm like, oh, okay,
So once again, if we just take that small space of what you've gotten, I don't think men get that at all.
Okay. That may be valid.
Not saying that there aren't exceptions. I think the vast majority of men, and I could be wrong, I'm not stepping out on the hill saying this is what it is. This is me saying in my experience and from what I've seen, I don't believe there's a lot of men who get that type of feedback going into a marriage. I think there's very little expectation from society of what a man should be in a marriage. And that's why they're so, especially in, I don't want to pick on black folk, but especially dealing with black Americans, there's so many failed marriages, so many absentee fathers, because no one is giving that game of what a man should be in a marriage. Not from a patriarchal or you supposed to, but just in terms of your values, what you stand on, what you mean to your family. We don't get that.
Yeah, I don't know. This is one that, we could have really taken to Facebook to get the immediate feedback on, because I don't feel like women get that either.
For sure. I think this will be dope. For those of you guys who don't know, we go live from our Facebook group page and our YouTube page. We're going to go live at the same time on both avenues. So if you're listening to this right now,
it'll be tomorrow.
And tomorrow, if you're listening to this same day we've uploaded it, tomorrow we're going live. Kick it with us. We're going to be revisiting this subject because I think it's interesting. And the whole point is, of course, look, this ain't for us. I'm not trying to share you with nobody, male or female. And I'm not trying to keep up with more than one. You're enough. Okay?
Yeah, listen, if you looked up and got two that act exactly like me, you stand no chance. You rarely stand a chance now. You really wouldn't stand a chance. 5
personalities in one right now.
Shots fired. Okay.
Look.
So,
shots fired.
about to put my hands on them. We're gonna move on to the next piece of feedback.
Have you not told me you're crazy?
Listen, I am not disputing the fact, but that don't mean I want you to be telling everybody else. It's better when it comes from me. Like when you co-signing, like, yeah, she crazy. They gonna be like, what is he doing?
I ain't gonna front with y'all. Y'all gonna know.
He like all the crazy.
I like it too. Who
love all the crazy.
Who's critiquing? I'm here for it. Come here.
Anyway,
switch it up. I'm like, babe, give me what's one of the names? They got names?
The only one you know and want to ever know is
Babe, bring Tina out tonight. Look, when we get married, I want to meet all of them. Come here, switch it up. Switch it up.
Okay, you're going way too far. So the next topic came from one of our followers on Facebook, and she sent me a screenshot of a status that she saw and thought that it would be a good topic. So I'm going to read it. It says, so let's get uncomfortable for a second. So right then, that's like the girl's version of, girl, let me tell you what happened. So you know it's about to get good after that. It says, how did we as men get to a point where our homies get this never-ending amount of loyalty, but our women get the bare minimum? Why are we taught to never fold on your homie, but it's okay to betray the woman that has your back? Why does the code we as men live by only benefit other men and not our women? Why do women have to wait on us to become the man she needs, but the homies don't have to wait on you to learn loyalty for them? Am I tripping, or does the code kind of seem to make men look like they love other men more than women?
That's heavy and deep.
I am not a man, so I feel like I don't know if I can take the lead on this, because I don't know if y'all are like taught that, or if that's something instinctual. It's like pack mentality that like, yo, that's my homie, I got his back, like through thick and thin, that's whatever it, you know, if he down, I'm down, we riding. Or if you're taught that, if you're taught like, look, when you have a friend, you have to be loyal, it's a man's thing to be honorable and honor your friendships. And
I'm gonna go on a limb here, and I'm gonna go on a deep dive with this, and it's once again, you already know this is not an expert panel. This is not coming from an expert standpoint. I'm just going by what I see. I work with young men, especially young black men, and I believe it kind of ties into what we talked about a minute ago about the role men have played in the family structure, right? I think that male energy is rare, especially when you're talking about, can you see if that's a black woman who posted that, or a black man?
I can't tell from the,
but it's rare, right? So you see in a lot of these communities,
yes, he is a black man.
In a lot of these communities where you have black men raised by black women, right? And you're seeking that camaraderie and that energy. You most oftentimes find it in friend circles. You find it with the gang. You find it with the homies. You find that guidance, that leaning into understanding what you're going through in those areas. And you replace that father figure a lot of times with the OGs in the community. Right. So you develop those bonds. I've never had that. I've never desired to be around my homies more than my girl, ever.
You also grew up with your dad in the house, right? So you weren't trying to.
That's what I'm saying. I had no. It was always weird to me, and I'm not coming from a judgmental standpoint, but it was like, man, bro, you got a girl, you switched up. Why do I want to be around you? It's a girl here. Why do I want it? Man, we going out, we finna whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop with you. Man, I'm in the crib. I'm not, what? That's never been me. It's never been me.
I'm going to take a stab at a psychological perspective on this. And those of you who don't know our dynamic very well, Russell is the emotional one. I am the facts one. So I'm going to try to play on the emotional side of this. So I'm wondering if in the scenario where the men are being more loyal to their core group of friends than it is to their women. If it has anything to do with the emotional attachment that happens in these circles. So I can be really good friends with someone without ever showing them an ounce of vulnerability, without ever risking being hurt deeply by these people, without ever wondering if I give them my love and affection, if they're going to turn it away. When I enter a romantic relationship with a woman, all of those things are at stake. And the scary factor in that may cause me to run, may cause me to cheat, may cause me to do other things that would eventually hurt that person. But really what I'm trying to do is protect myself. So it's easy to be loyal and honorable to a group of people who, like, I play basketball with y'all and we play video games, and there's no deeper level connection there that I worry about jeopardizing. But once I give my heart to somebody and I run the risk of being hurt, some people really have the mentality, and I used to have this, like, I'm gonna hurt you before you hurt me. So I'm gonna go and do whatever I want to do, and you can be hurt, because if that turns around and I'm the person that's hurt, then it's a whole nother problem. So I'm just gonna hurt you before you ever get a chance to hurt me.
I won't dispute that. I will say I do think that a lot of men find a level of vulnerability with their friend group more so than outside of that, and to an extent, you know what I mean? Because some men aren't emotionally literate, right? You know what I mean? Especially Black men. We're not in an environment a lot of times that allows us a free range of emotions. You know what I mean? You coming up in some neighborhoods where you cry on the playground, that means a whole different thing for you. You can't do that. You know what I mean? You smell like weakness, you know what I mean? In the jungle, you know what I mean, where it's kill or be killed. So you don't have that wide range of emotions. Or, some people grow up in the house with dad and it's still like, you a man, don't cry.
Yeah, absolutely.
Be a man. Don't do that. So we don't have that wide range of emotions. So sometimes it's just falling down and come on, get up, bro. I got you. Say less. Now, to somebody looking who's emotionally literate and has a lot of depth there, that might not mean anything. But for someone who's never had that level of encouragement, something small as that, where, man, bro, I'm tripping, bro. Like, man, I'm arguing with my girl, man. She don't get, man, I've been there before, bro. Like, don't even sweat it, bro. It doesn't seem deep, but for a lot of people, that's heavy. And it's a level of support that they haven't encountered growing up. And they found that there in neighborhoods where they didn't have a lot of security. They was with a group of people. I know when I'm with them, I don't got to worry. In some spaces, I feel unsafe, but when I'm with these people, I feel safe. I don't got to worry.
Right, but I think that goes to almost to support the fact that, like, it is a place where they feel safe from that. But when they enter into these romantic relationships, that safety is not there. Like,
well, if we keep it all the way at being, if we're just talking about the dynamic between men and women, especially in the Black space, there's been a severing of trust and a lot that needs to be healed in that dynamic alone.
100%.
In a large way, the Black man has failed the Black woman.
Mass, if we're talking about not individual situations, but
because there's a lot of solid, good men, stand-up fathers would die for their family, but in large majority, there in way too many cases, there is the opposite.
Some not even by choice.
Yeah, facts. So whether it's through the judicial system, whether it's through drug abuse, whether it's through just not knowing how to fulfill that role, there's a lot of kids growing up without their dad.
Yeah.
There's a lot of husbands who have betrayed the trust of their woman, whether through infidelity and all of these things. So there's a severed trust there.
100%.
So for a man to step in, and I'm not even convinced if I can be this to you, and you treat me like, I don't know if you can do it either.
It's easy to stray.
Yeah,
be like, look, I'm not valued here. So I have heard that a lot in just guy friends and even in relationships that I've been in. And I'm like, why would you do this to me? Well, you don't need me. So, I wanted to feel needed. I wanted to feel, like my presence mattered to somebody. So it is like that. You want us to be a strong woman for you and protect you and nurture you and love on you. But as soon as we do that, it is almost like an off-putting because now you feel not needed and it makes you go run to the next person. I think that if we get back to the reason the question was, am I tripping? Does the code kind of seem to make men look like they love other men more than they love women? I don't know if it's a matter of who loves who more, but I feel like there is a bigger set of trust with your friends sometimes than it is with the person you're in a relationship with, and that sucks.
That's facts. Is it different for girls though? Like, y'all
yeah,
have a
no,
code
like
for
girls,
sure.
we gonna sell each other out in a minute. And I'm sorry, girls are shiesty. Like I love my females, and this is what I be telling you when we be talking about stuff, and you be like, nah, like
girls have a code.
In a sense.
Okay.
So in a sense, we have a code. Like I saw a post on Facebook that said, ladies, you see your girl's friend out, like man, out with another girl. Like, what do you do? The amount of women on that post that were like, I ain't saying nothing. Because if I say something and then he come home and be like, oh, whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop, this is what it was. She gonna believe him before she believe me. 100%. It like, we have a set of code. Like if my girl's like, look, I'm about to go cheat on my husband. If he tell him I'm in the bathroom or something, or I'm with you, or I went, yeah, we do that. But
because y'all really good at cheating. Like, I mean, I'm almost curious as to know if men are just like less.
Y'all just not smart enough to cheat. Like,
yeah, y'all gotta be coordinated.
Yeah, you're not smart
y'all
enough to cheat. This is what kills me.
There must be a very solid.
Why are you even trying to do this? You don't even know how to cover your tracks right. Like, what's happening? That's why I told him about a situation where like I didn't cheat, but I could have. And I never communicated with the person not on him. This is in a past situation, by the way.
Wait a minute.
Let me clarify.
What are you talking about on this podcast?
Well, we communicated through a third party. Like, y'all not even smart enough to think of that. Y'all be DMing and text message. Don't delete the text message. Saving the message in Snapchat. Like, Snapchat's not even for that. What are you doing? Like,
I don't do these things.
But I'm sure, like, it's just like women have the ability to think through situations.
What
like,
I don't want to turn this conversation to is how great a cheaters are.
No, but I just think that in general, like men, let's talk about us. You are very momentary in your decision making.
What do you mean?
Like, I feel like when we run into an issue, it's like, oh my gosh, like I don't know, it's not working. And I'm like, well, what about blah 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 blah? And you're like, oh, see, you smarter than me, right? Because I can think through a situation in a way that just you can't. Like, you're presented with the opportunity to cheat, so you're gonna cheat. You're not thinking about, like, not you specifically, but you're not thinking about, oh, what if I leave my phone up? What if this happens? What if this happens? Like, we are thinking about what's happening right now and what's happening 10 years down the road. Like, if he asks about this, I'm gonna get a receipt from Victoria's Secret with the exact date and time.
I want to recant my last argument between this and what she said about girls saying if they saw their girlfriend's man out with another woman,
that they wouldn't say anything.
I think the reason why we're more comfortable around with our homies because y'all are weird. We don't understand y'all.
And that's trying to explain that to you. Like, when we read into situations, and it's like, look, you're not thinking like a woman. You're thinking like a man in this situation. Like, girls are different.
I don't know. I've always been...
More power to all my girls out there. Like, we different. We built different.
I've always been the friend in my circle that would call you out if you was on some nonsense. I done had like close friends be like, man, they stopped talking to me about stuff because they know I'm gonna tell you about yourself.
But I just don't think that that's the majority. Like you're.
Oh no, yeah,
you're definitely
I'm aware
a unicorn in that situation.
Yeah, and then I got friends who do that with me too. Nah, bro, you wrong. You tripping.
Those are good friends, but I think that just like I don't know why that dynamic exists in a group of friends of women, and it could be because just like historically that's what happens. Like, oh, that's why we talk about this. Like, a woman is more loyal to her man than she is to her friends, and it's the opposite in the male sector.
And still be cheating. It's crazy.
No, like
I'm just
because we can cheat doesn't mean that we do.
I'm just playing.
Women are the most loyal creatures in America, like, or in the world. Like,
creatures?
Yeah, creatures. Like, no. No, it is not the same thing. But yeah, so
now women are different. Like, I won't even fix my mouth to say that, because in a lot of scenarios, even with, like, we were talking about how the relationship between women and men has been severed, you know, to such an alarming degree. Yeah. There's still an alarm. We were just watching a TV show. Oh, it made me so mad. Y'all, please, if we keep referencing this show, y'all have to watch Family or Fiance.
Yeah.
You have to watch this show. The alarming amount of women. There was this girl who literally came on the show. She said her sole purpose. Now, the show's intent is to get the blessing of of their families for them to get married. Mm-hmm. There's some issues. Maybe mom don't like the fiance. Maybe, you know, the kids don't like the, you know. So there's a look. Okay.
Yes. Talking to your mic, please.
So that's the point of the show, is to get the blessing of the family to get married. This girl came there with the sole intent to tell her story about how not only was she being mentally abused, but she was getting physically abused by a man who was like 30 years her senior.
Yeah. She
said she sees him as a father figure as well as a best friend and a lover. Weird already, okay?
Don't judge.
So she's sitting here crying the entire end of the episode, breaking down emotionally, all for at the end of the episode when they do the little
update on where they are
now. They immediately went home and got married. Now, I don't know if that's loyalty or stupidity. Either way.
I think in that situation, it is solely dependency. And that, like, feeling like you need someone will make you be loyal to them in situations where you should just run away, whether it's need them monetarily, whether it's need them emotionally, whether you need them physically. Like, that will build an attachment that it will take heaven and earth to come between y'all, because you feel like that person helps solidify your identity as a person. And if that person is gone, then who am I? Who do I become?
Who were you before that?
Most people don't know. She was 19 when she started dating this man who was at the time 49.
Aside from her, but just in general, why y'all be like that? Why, in most cases, not in all cases, I don't want to generalize, but why in most cases are women just so hell-bent on fighting for situations that from the outside looking in just appear to be dead? Why is that? You see it more with women.
I was getting ready to say, because I mean there are men who definitely stick in situations that they should have long been gone
for sure.
But I just think that you see it on the reverse more.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think a lot of factors, there's no way for us to break down why that happens, because there are a lot of factors that play into that. But I will say that in the cases that I see, it does, and I hate this because I'm a person who has rejected this idea my entire life, but it does boil down to daddy issues. And just so you know, you can have daddy issues when your daddy is in the house. Like, daddy issues have nothing to do with just an absent father. In my case, it was an absent father, but I had father figures, but it still created attachment issues to people who just were not good for me, because I was longing for that male approval. And I just never felt like I had it. And my grandfather was the father figure who stepped in for me. And in his eyes, I could do no wrong. But I knew even as a little girl that that's not realistic, right? He loves me more than he should. Maybe not than he should, but he showed that love in an abundance because he was trying to make up for what I didn't have. When, although I appreciated everything he did, I still wanted what I didn't have. No man can replace your daddy. And if that relationship is severed, it will come out in some way or another. And for most of us, I think it comes off as in an unhealthy attachment to someone who we can recognize this is not good for me, but because he does X, Y, and Z, I can't leave him.
Yo, you smoked that. You was spitting.
Listen, I'm speaking from experience, so nobody ever told me.
They never.
Nobody ever told me that ignoring the issues that I had with my dad would come out in my relationships.
Wow.
Nobody ever told me that. You know what I got when I expressed, why is my dad not here? What did I do? What's wrong with me? You don't need him. Look what you got. Look what I do for you. Look at all this stuff. I break my back. I do this. I do that. And nothing wrong to, not a slight to my mom because she did. Yeah. Like, if that's why I felt like I didn't need him. Because I was like, I don't need him. When I got old enough to process those emotions, I was like, look at all this he missing out on. I'm about to be famous. I'm gonna be rich, and he's not gonna get none of this. And you know what I'm saying? Because that's what was bred into me. Yeah. But in the inside, I needed that. I needed an acknowledgement. Yeah. I needed for him to just say, you know what? I can't be there the way you need me to be, but I still love you. Yeah. And because I didn't have that, I went looking for someone to love me. And when someone gave me some semblance of what I thought was love, why would I want to let go of that? I've spent my whole life searching for it.
Wow. That's heavy.
It is.
That's heavy. I'm curious to know, and number one, like, I would imagine that there was a lot of periods in your life where that mindset that your mom implanted was like Teflon. Like, it saved you in a lot of scenarios.
Oh, 100%.
You know what I mean? Because it just, even in high school, you always had this, like, you were little. Like, you wasn't nothing but this big. But
that was a firecracker.
Yeah, your demeanor was like 7 foot. Yeah. Like, you seemed kind of
impermeable.
Woo! Say it again. Come impermeable.
Word of the day. Try to use it in a sentence, guys.
And you know what? Aside from this podcast, if I could just be transparent, that's a dynamic I wrestle with, because I'm the opposite of Teflon. Like, my emotions are like putty.
Yeah, no, you're charming.
They on my sleeve. There's nothing covering them.
You're definitely charming.
Yo, you did it. It's hard with somebody that's like this. You're like,
you don't understand how that made me feel.
Like, how do I feel?
Your feelings. What you talking about?
You keep talking about emotions and feelings.
It doesn't make sense. This is all that matters.
I hate that.
And that's something I'm working on. I am.
Yeah,
I'm trying to identify more. I don't think it comes naturally, but if you're asking me, like, what's the emotion, I'm trying to process what that is. But I do believe that just seeing. And I know that my mom did it for all the right reasons. Like, I never saw my mom cry or worry or stress. So to me, if she didn't do it, then it didn't happen. So that's the model that I had, right? Yeah. Like, why does it matter how you feel? You have to do what you have to do. Like,
yeah, in a lot of areas, like, it served you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure it still will. You let us break up, you gonna be good? Like,
you won't.
Nah, I'm gonna be a wreck.
I'm not even talking about that because I'm gonna beat you up.
Nah, I'm gonna cry for 2 months and then I'm gonna move on.
2 months? That's all I get?
Huh?
That's all I get? 2 months?
It's not about time. It's
about
the quantity of tears.
I need you to cry for at least a year.
You gonna act like you good.
You have to mourn me.
You gonna act like you good and be inside internally damaged.
No, everybody that come across me, what are you looking at? Stop talking.
Just so angry for you. Just aggressive. I ain't gonna worry about that.
Nah, it's not gonna happen.
Not
I told
at
you.
all.
Like,
not at all.
I got people for that. My son done already told you. Like, if you hurt me, you got to see him.
Well, first of all, he ain't got to worry about that. Number one, but
We got a gang.
That's the balance, though, right? Like, and I think we touched on this. I don't know if it was an episode or was it live. I'm getting them all mixed up right now. But we talked about the balancing out of our differences, right, and how they're in this dynamic a commodity and not incompatibility, right? In
It's
that
a compliment.
yeah. So in that, in this dynamic, in the areas that you can be more emotionally aware, I can pull you in that direction. And in the areas that I need to be more firm and fact focused instead of emotion focused, we pull each other to that like happy medium. We should have called this podcast the Happy Medium.
No, we shouldn't have.
That sounds dope.
It doesn't.
The Happy Medium with Brandi and Russell.
It sounds like one of them spas where you get a happy ending.
You just heard the word happy and your mind went there and you're nasty.
Happy medium, happy ending.
I need a button that says something about being nasty.
You big filthy, big nasty.
You're nasty. You're just nasty.
You need to get that from the Fresh Prince where he said that.
No, Andrew Caldwell has one. It's so funny.
Okay, don't find it now. No, baby, no. Do not find it now.
You're
squirreling. You're squirreling.
I think I saved it to my camera roll.
Okay, you're squirreling though.
Right,
Let's stay focused.
For sure. What were we saying?
Exactly. See, look at you.
You're nasty is what we were saying. I mean, ultimately, I think, and that was really dope. I'm glad. Who sent that? Was that Candace?
Yes. Shout out to you, boo.
Shout out to Candace, one of our day ones.
Yeah.
Been rocking with us from the jump.
Her and her husband are like two of our biggest supporters. Like, I remember the funniest thing is that we were on live and we were having a conversation and they chimed in and they were both on their phones on live, but they were sitting in the car next to each other.
They were just sitting in the car, like listening to the live.
So she's here and he's there, and they're both on their phone participating in
responding
our live. Yeah, like
individually,
actively engaging. So
and the only reason
it's-
why we knew that's because we like said something like are y'all?
Yeah.
We sitting in the car together.
Yeah, and the fact that they stopped, like whatever they were doing, I don't know if they had pulled up at home and decided, yo, this is too good. We don't want to get out the car or whatever. I know we've made up all types of scenarios in our heads of how that could have happened, but that's the type of friends, that's the type of community that we're building, like people who are just like loyalists. So Candace does definitely always like shoot us ideas and shoot us feedback. I remember the first time we got this camera and we were going live, she was screenshotting like, oh, y'all look so good, because we have been going live from our phones for so long. So like, first of all, can we just shout out the upgrade? Like, we went from phones in your living room to a camera in your living room, lighting. Now we got a whole little studio situation going on here. Got our little greenery. You know what I'm saying? So we're making the transition to professionalism. We still got to get ourselves together.
We did it, show.
We on the way.
We not there yet.
We on the way though.
No, actually, I don't want to lose this. I don't want to be so formal that like we lose our natural dynamic. So if y'all couldn't tell, we had a full blown like little tiff right here in the beginning when we was talking about the polygamy stuff.
Tell
like
the truth.
No,
These are gonna make the best episodes.
For us, that's like as rough as it gets. It's like this like stiff air where it's like, what are you talking about? And he's like, look, I'm over you. Like, as far as arguments, that's really like, that's the worst that we get. Like, we don't really argue. It's just like this. You're annoyed, I'm annoyed, but neither one of us are saying that we're annoyed. We're going to talk through it until somebody becomes unannoyed.
That's true. That's true. Or just move on. Move on. I found it. I'm going to play it.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. He has found the sound clip. And I'm glad it's not working. So now that's what you get. So again, we want to thank y'all so much for joining us for another episode of the What They Never Told Us podcast. We will be back dropping another episode
Yes.
on Tuesday and
Yes.
then live again on Wednesday and on our Facebook page. We now have a personal page for a business page, for the podcast. So
Yes.
when we go live, we will be going live from that page. The page is What They Never Told Us.
Yeah.
Go ahead and like that so you get all the updates on what's going on. You'll be notified when we go live. We'll try to do that right around 9:00 Eastern Standard Time, but we Black people and we be on CPT sometimes, so just work with us. If it ain't 9, it'd be 9-ish. I think we should just say that from now on. 9-ish.
I'm with it. 9-ish.
so we don't lock ourselves into something that we can't attain.
Whatever time it is, it'll always be ish.
It'll always be ish.
And also YouTube. If
Yes.
Facebook just isn't your, what's the word? Jish.
Your judge.
Jush. If Facebook isn't your jush, you can hit us up on YouTube.
That word isn't your judge.
Nope. It'll never flow right ever. But here's the thing. I'm gonna keep saying it. At R&B Forever, you'll find the podcast there, as well as whatever else we do. We like to do some fun stuff. Like,
And our kids have been begging to be a part of something, so
no, forget that. Forget that.
yeah, let them make a debut. Maybe we can blur their faces off or something.
So vlogs, challenges, whatever. We ain't gonna be climbing no crates and nothing like that, but you'll see.
The way these knees are set up.
I know. So that's R&B Forever.
Yes.
If you, just like today, if you have a subject or if you see something that you think would spark some dope conversation, hit us up from any of our social media platforms. It's R&B Forever on YouTube, R&B Forever on TikTok. Our email is FOCClegacy.
That is so wrong. Look at him. Look at him. They gave y'all
That's
the
the wrong email
whole
address.
Listen,
What they
first of all,
never
we got a bunch of businesses. So
what they never told us pod
at gmail.com.
at gmail.com. Hit us
That
up
would be
there.
the right one.
That's the one.
Thank you. If y'all email us at the other one, listen, y'all better be talking about some of this.
That part. Okay, my bad. I was thinking about the wrong one. But listen, I thank y'all so much for rocking with us.
Yes, we appreciate you
This
so
has become
much.
a big part of my week. I love coming here talking with you, and when I look at the camera, I just feel like I'm talking to a bunch of like people that have become kind of like family.
Yeah, that's our community.
Yeah.
That's our what I say, our fan page.
Fan page.
I hate the term fan page, so it's our
So
fan
you turn
page.
to fam with
Yes,
the
it's
M.
our fam page.
I'm with it.
And y'all are our family. So thank you for rocking with us. Hope to see y'all again next week.
Yes.
Follow us on social media. I am Miss Brandi Saray
I'm
on
Russell IV.
Instagram.
Oh, no,
Sorry.
my bad. I thought you were just saying your name. You getting the whole handle. I stepped on it. Say it again, love.
It is at Miss Brandi Saray on Instagram.
And I am at Russell IV. And we're also on Instagram as at What They Never Told Us pod.
Absolutely. And our personal pages are tagged on that as well. So follow us everywhere.
Wherever you're at, we're there
Everywhere.
too. You got to get our Twitter page. We ain't got it. Okay. By the time this airs, we'll have a Twitter page. Okay. So either way it goes, hit us up. Kick it with this. I'll do Twitter. Lastly, though, you looking at me. I'll handle the Twitter. Don't you worry about that. I'll be on there. But it's all good. Listen, thank y'all for rocking with us. As always, we love. You should love too. And
Love you much.
we'll see you next time. Peace.